This is BTV, Business Television. Discover companies to invest in.
This week, we revisit Canada's North to highlight leaders in resource exploration and development. Hello, I'm Taylor Tone.
And I'm Jessica Katrachak. Welcome to BTV Business Television.
Canada's North is increasingly being recognized as a mining jurisdiction with significant untapped potential that rivals some of the most prolific regions in the world.
So we return to the North to provide an update on its opportunities and competitive advantages, including highlighting gold, diamonds, and critical metals.
But first, let's hear from some thought leaders who are well acquainted with Canada's North.
In the northern regions of Canada, from the Yukon, from Northwest Territories, from Nunavut, we are looking at the future of the industrial North America, if not industrial world. That's where the rocks and the minerals are. And much of the rest of the world has been, dug up in its own way. A lot of the high-grade material has been picked over, elsewhere in the world. The northern regions are still fairly wide open in terms of exploration. It's been prospected, but it has not been properly explored. When you look at modern exploration techniques, the geochemistry, the geophysics, the remote sensing, using drones, the kinds of things that you can do today to do really, really good exploration. Those old prospectors with their pick and their mule and their straw hat and whatever, they had nothing on what we can find today using the modern science, modern technology.
The first thing that we look at is the mineral potential, which is very good in all of the territories. There's a lot of mineralization up there. We know that it's there. It's been underexplored, so it's very attractive there.
I think that Canadians need to remember and understand that mining is a very key part of the fabric of this country. It was one of the building blocks for our economy over many, many years. The Yukon's no different, with over 100 years of history. And as we look to the future and we look to a clean future, mining is going to be a key component of us getting to those solutions.
When we last met up with Yukoner Scott Berdahl, he had recently launched Snowline Gold, a company with a cornerstone position in the Yukon's fertile Selwyn Basin. Since then, initial drill results have confirmed what Berdahl and his management team were hoping for: the potential for a world-class discovery.
We are focused on gold. We're focused in the Yukon. We've really identified a new region that hasn't been explored before, and in our initial drilling, we found two very interesting discoveries that really prove the concept that there's something out there worth chasing. And so to go in there and to drill these two targets and to make these discoveries, and we've made another initial discovery on a third target where we've drilled and hit visible gold. Go in there and on our first three targets to hit visible gold on each of them and get into these really big systems, it just really speaks to the potential that we saw there. And so that adds a lot of validity to the thesis that we formed Snowline Gold around.
With money in the bank, the next step for Scott and his team is to strike a balance on this district-scale land position.
We're committing roughly 3/4 of our resources to the discoveries we've already made, and the remaining 1/4 to the additional prospects that we see in this area. We've drilled into intervals as big as 283 meters of 2.3 grams per ton from surface. These grades are really unprecedented for this kind of a system, and it's very exciting. It's very early stage for Valley, but we're excited by what we found there. There's a huge advantage to being first mover in this region. It really hasn't been looked at before, and yet we have an extensive database of over 50,000 surface samples in silts, soils, rock samples, prospecting discoveries in an area that has seen almost no exploration. And so to have that and to have our claim position covering what we see as the best targets, basically to have 2 years of work there before anyone else moves into the area, we have a huge leg up in not only in the land that we already have, and really using our knowledge of the region to strategically expand.
And knowledge of the land is one of Scott's attributes that will help push this project forward.
I grew up prospecting with my father in the Yukon, and ultimately after I finished my geology degree, I came back and I found that I liked prospecting a lot more than working as a geologist. And so we were prospectors, but really sort of a private prospect generating company. And over the years, we staked and optioned out more than 1% of the Yukon territory, and clearly some pretty interesting ideas and pretty interesting trends that have come out of it.
And for Scott, the Valley discovery has similar attributes to other large gold deposits in the area.
They're right at surface, they go to depth. Mineralization that we're visually seeing extends over a large area, and so ticking all the boxes that we wanted to tick. We're not out here to find good drill intersections, we're out here to find a mine, and so this really looks like it could be one.
You can follow Snowline Gold and their exciting progress online. They're at snowlinegold.com.
Coming up on BTV,
Diamond supply is off about 20% over the last 5 years, and there are not very many deposits to fill that gap, and that's where North Arrow fits in.
and later in the show,
And there's only one direct comparison I can make to where we're at today, and that was the tech bubble in the late 1990s, early 2000s. When it broke, there was huge investor interest, and I think we're right on the cusp of that again now.
We'll be right back. You're watching BTV.
Nunavut is a story in and of itself. There are just unbelievable iron deposits that could feed the world's steel mills in terms of iron mining. And then banded iron formations are also known to host gold in great quantities.
The resources that are being discovered are right in line with the critical minerals that are being identified within Canada, and with the global uncertainty and the need for us to be self-sufficient, those discoveries are going to help in the long run, and is going to help the country become more self-sufficient. For the investors, they need certainty. And with our territory having a single land claims that's already been dealt with, and we have processes in place now with our institution of public governments to oversee the environmental assessment side and the approval, you know what you need to do if you're going to come to Nunavut.
there are 4 C's that define the quality of a diamond anywhere in the world, so consumers know exactly what they're purchasing. Carat, cut, clarity, and most importantly, for North Arrow Minerals, color. North Arrow's discovery of colored diamonds in Canada's far north may be a game changer for the company.
They are yellow and orange in color. Some that we've recovered in previous programs, we've had cut and polished and certified as fancy colored diamonds. And fancy colored diamonds, once they get that certification, are worth more money. There's lots of different colors of diamonds. You can find red diamonds and pink diamonds and blue diamonds. Our focus is on these orangey yellow diamonds that we think have orange as the primary color. And orange is really rare when it comes to diamonds. As a benchmark to look at an order of magnitude higher price for similar white diamonds of the same cut, size, and clarity is probably a fair estimate.
North Arrow recovered these rare diamonds in the most unlikely place, Canada's far north.
Our most advanced project is called Now Yet, and it's located right at the north end of Hudson's Bay, right on the Arctic Circle, near an Inuit hamlet called Now Yet. It's a big deposit. We have a resource. It's actually the largest inventory of diamonds in Canada that's not already controlled by a diamond mining company. And we just finished a sampling program there last year. We need to get that big bulk sample completed, which will give us enough diamonds for valuation. The value is an important part to plug into that calculation. We have a little bit more drilling to do. There's a drill on site. We can do all of that work, and it's going to move along sort of in parallel with our evaluation of the diamond parcel.
For Ken Armstrong and his team, working in Canada's north and searching for diamonds has occupied the better part of 2 decades.
I've been in mineral exploration in Canada since the mid-1990s, and I've been lucky enough to be in the diamond exploration space through most of my career now. Experience is the key. We need to know how to find the deposits, which we've had really good success doing, how to evaluate the deposit, and being experienced explorers helps us attract experienced investors who understand the peaks and valleys of the whole process and the timelines involved, because they are longer when it comes to diamond exploration and evaluation.
North Arrow have another 6 drill-ready, fully permitted projects in the works, all located in Canada.
We have a strong pipeline of projects, more properties in Nunavut as well. Our Mel project, we made a discovery there in 2017-18, a brand new kimberlite field, diamond bearing. We made a similar discovery in Saskatchewan at our Piku project as well. And we have some other early stage projects in the Northwest Territories in the Lac de Gras region, sort of the birthplace of diamond mining in Canada.
And all this activity is coming at a great time.
The diamond market is really strong right now. Of course, any market, there's both supply and demand. And on the demand side for diamonds, it's really jewelry demand, luxury jewelry demand. Jewelry sales in the US last year were up over 50%. And that's not a COVID bounce back. That was over the long year, 20-year trend. We're seeing big investments from big luxury brands like Louis Vuitton. They purchased Tiffany last year for over $15 billion. Diamond supply is off about 20% over the last 5 years. And there are not very many deposits on the drawing board to come online over the next 10 to 15 years to fill that gap, and that's where North Arrow fits in.
Ken Armstrong is proud of North Arrow's responsible and ethical exploration for diamonds in Canada.
In the north, so particularly in Nunavut and in the Northwest Territories as well, local communities, largely Indigenous communities, have a direct say in developments that happen in their traditional territories and have a direct say on the rules and regulations under which a mine is developed. Diamonds have done a lot of good in the world as well, in places like the Arctic in Canada and Botswana and Southern Africa. Diamond mining has brought a lot to the communities where it's been active, and it's something that the diamond sector doesn't get credit for. Yeah, I'm proud of what the diamond market has done in the places where it's been done properly.
For more about North Arrow's colored diamonds and all the company's latest news, visit their website at northarrowminerals.com.
Still to come on BTV.
My first ever job was doing exploration work in Yukon as a teenager. I've continued to work there through my entire life.
And later in the show,
the camp has produced 14 million ounces of gold in the past. It's a camp with high-grade nature gold.
We'll be right back. You're watching BTV.
I mean, Yukon is a very popular jurisdiction these days, and for good reason. There is direct government support, and the industry has gotten together in a way up there to support itself in a way that's sort of different than anywhere else in the world, with the Yukon Mining Alliance and the way that the 3 northern territories work together to help investors understand the opportunity and the support that there is for exploration up there. And then that all comes on top of an area that is very underexplored, but it's part of a part of the world that's bountiful with minerals.
The government of Yukon has many different projects that are underway that will help support mining development and mining exploration. Primarily, we've focused on infrastructure. We're in the middle of building out almost $500 million in road construction. We have about $100 million going into our international airport. Again, we continue to invest and co-invest with the private sector. We have about $1.4 million this year going into exploration programming. Again, we continue to look at enhancing our labor force through Yukon University and the Center for Northern Innovation and Mining. So really a holistic approach to supporting the sector.
zinc and tungsten are 2 minerals in the federal government's new critical minerals strategy. The government wants to address the current supply vulnerability, including exploration and mining. Fireweed Metals' large deposits of both of these key minerals may be a case of in the right place at the right time for this emerging critical metals powerhouse.
Both zinc and tungsten are essential. Zinc specifically for galvanization, prevention of rust, essential in infrastructure and automobiles. Tungsten is essential for hardened steels, but also in aerospace and defense applications.
Fireweed has 2 projects with sizable deposits, one in the Yukon and one just acquired bordering the Northwest Territories.
Our resources are absolutely substantial. The McMillan Pass project had a resource done by Fireweed as recently as 2018, which showed 11.2 million tons of indicated and 39.5 million tons of inferred at about 10% zinc equivalent. At Fireweed, we're very excited by our recent acquisition of the Mactung project. We signed a binding LOI with the government of NWT to acquire this project, which they had received from the bankruptcy of North American Tungsten. It is immediately adjacent to our McMillan Pass zinc project, both of which are on the eastern border of Yukon Territory. So it has a historic resource done by the previous owner. We're looking to update that this year and reaffirm its place as one of the largest and highest grade deposits in the world.
All of this, plus a new drill program underway.
Our drill program at McMillan Pass started in mid-July. We're anticipating drilling 6,000 to 8,000 meters. We expect results sometime around late Q3 or Q4 this year.
Brandon McDonald believes that exploring in the north can be done for the benefit of all parties involved.
Fireweed's vision is to sustainably develop critical minerals for present and future generations. There's no way to do that without a great deal of consideration for both the environment and local communities, especially Indigenous communities who have been living in these areas since time immemorial.
And he has the street cred to guide Fireweed Metals through the necessary hurdles toward success.
This area is also personal to me. I was born in Yukon. I lived as a small child in the community of Ross River, which is the nearest community to our project. My first ever job was doing exploration work in Yukon as a teenager. I've continued to work there through my entire life. I've always found that the access to government and that close relationship has been critical to our success.
Fireweed Metals is currently working with a healthy cash balance. You can follow all of their latest drill results at fireweedmetals.com.
Canada's a leader. Canada's a leader in mining. Canada's a leader in ESG. But the Northwest Territories is sort of a leader of a leader in my view, where we've been doing it this way for a long time. We're at the forefront and we're at the leading edge of how to truly engage with Indigenous governments and to do so in an environmentally responsible way.
Future plans for the Northwest Territories mean expanding on the critical minerals sector that we have. We have three major projects that we're looking to expand in the Northwest Territories: our Slave Geological Provincial Road, Mackenzie Highway, and the Tolson Hydro. Those projects will not only help to address the infrastructure gaps that we have in the north compared to the south, but it will also open up and make us accessible to the critical minerals that are so necessary for the world today.
The mineral resource sector across all three territories are the main economic drivers. They provide training, they provide jobs, they provide local benefits, they provide growth for secondary and tertiary companies that want to participate in the mineral resource sector.
In the Northwest Territories, for mining, it's both the benefit of employment as well as the business. So there's been programs like the Mine Training Society, which is about training Northerners to be able to be employed and in the North. So that's been one of the great programs, and really working with the mining companies and the post-secondary institutions to be able to maximize the number of residents who are employed in the northern mines.
Having a project close to a town or city is always a bonus, especially in Canada's vast north. For Goldterra, this invaluable location, close to all major infrastructure, is home to their 800 square kilometer gold camp.
Our key focus at Goldterra is the Yellowknife Camp. Yellowknife Camp is located, of course, in the Yellowknife City area, Northwest Territory, about an 18-hour drive from Edmonton, so you can reach by road. And the camp has produced 14 million ounces of gold in the past. It's a camp with high-grade nature gold. We already have 1.2 million ounces as of our March 2021 43-101. And this company basically is on the verge of accumulating more ounces of high-grade nature and hopefully eventually reopen the Con Mine and other deposit in the Yellowknife area.
Developing a gold project in this area has its advantages.
Being in the town of Yellowknife, is a big advantage because everybody goes home at night. Secondly, the high-grade nature of the deposit in the area. For example, the Giant and the Con Mine, which are now close, produce gold at grade between 15 to 22 grams. That's high grade. That's big margin, small volume, good profitability. And that was the main attraction for me to go and work in the Yellowknife camp.
You can follow all the news from Goldterra, including their latest high-grade results, at their website, goldterracorp.com.
Still to come on BTV.
I've been doing this for a long time, and there's only one direct comparison I can make to where we're at today, and that was the tech bubble in the late 1990s, early 2000s.
We'll be right back. You're watching BTV.
Strategic Metals is a company that likes to think outside the box. Its contrarian approach to project generation has afforded it interests in 120 Yukon-based properties alone that cover a spectrum of deposit types, including many emerging critical metals. It's a kind of diversity that helps to insulate the company regardless of economic cycles.
Strategic Metals likes to go out during periods of time when other explorers have left the field, if you want, and we then can get good properties by staking, very, very low cost. We advance them slightly by surface work to confirm the potential that they have, and then when metal markets really improve, then we try to place them with other companies, either through options, sales, or JVs. So the main exploration risks are taken on by the partners.
This strategy has provided the company with a stake in several very promising projects.
Two very, very specific opportunities that are worth mentioning are Broden Minerals, brand new private company that is working with Ross River Denny Corp with the idea of redeveloping the Faro mining camp, once the largest mine in Yukon, so it's a big opportunity for us. We also have a large share position in a company called Terra CO2 Technologies. One of the engineers there came up with the idea looking at using mine tailings and other waste materials from other operations and using it to make cement. It could lead to about 4% of the CO2 that's emitted worldwide annually being eliminated. It could have an enormous environmental impact.
While Strategic has shareholdings in Newfoundland, the Dominican Republic, Nevada, Northern BC, and the Northwest Territories, its roots are in the Yukon.
The main reason Strategic is focusing primarily on Yukon is that's where we have huge databases. I worked there for 50 years as a geologist, so there's databases inside my head, but we also have large digital and paper files that we can access to get more information. In addition to that, it's an area that has huge mineral potential.
Eaton believes that potential can soon be realized despite current economic volatility.
I've been doing this for a long time, and there's only one direct comparison I can make to where we're at today, and that was the tech bubble in the late 1990s, early 2000s. When it broke, we had a couple of years of slowdown, and then our industry took off. Commodity prices were strong for about 10 years. There was huge investor interest, and I think we're right on the cusp of that again now.
Strategic Metals continues to look for opportunities to expand its portfolio of high-quality exploration projects that span a wide range of commodities and deposit types.
Together, the Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut account for over 1/3 of all of the land in Canada.
It's a sizable landmass that represents a sizable opportunity for investors.
Thanks for joining us today. For BTV, I'm Jessica Kaczyczak.
And I'm Taylor Tone. You can follow us on Twitter. We're at BTV CEO Clips. And until next time, may your portfolio prosper.